Hello my friends, in today's video we will see the voltages and resistance of this graphics card, which is the Galax 1050 Ti. So let's start. So this GPU core is using a GP107 processor or GPU chip, and then we have 4 VRAMs. So this is a 4 gigabytes of VRAMs. Now let's check the circuits or the sections of this GPU. First, this coil or this section is for the VRAM or for the memory chips. And then these coils is for the V core or the GPU core. Next, this coil is for the PEX or for the PCI Express rail. And this coil is for the 1.8 volts rail. These regulators are for the 5 volts rail. Now let's check the other side of the board. So in here we will see this 8-pin IC, which is the BIOS IC. Now what voltages we can measure on these sections? Actually, we can also measure it in these test points of the board. The 5 volt, the memory, the GPU core, the PEX, and the 1.8. We can also measure it in this here. Now let's measure the voltages of this card. First, in here, the memory section, which has a 1.3 volts, and then the GPU core we can measure around 0.700 volts, and then in these regulators, of course, we should have 5 volts. And then in here, the 1.8 volts, and in the PEX, around 0.9 volts. At the other side of the board, in the PCI Express fingers, in here at the bottom, on this pin we can also measure the 3.3 volts rail, and then in this pin we can measure the 12 volts finger rail. Now, what are the resistances we should have on this card? So first, If we measure the VRAM section, we should have a 80 ohms or above for the memory section. And then the GPU core resistance should have 1 ohm or above. And then the 1.8 volts rail should have a 4 to 5 kilo ohms. And then the PEX rail should have a around 120 ohms. So the 5 volts rail should have 500 ohms. Now let's take a look at the other side. So in here, the 3.3 volts rail should have at least 3 kilo ohms or above, and our 12 volts rail should have 5 kilo ohms or above. So that's it for this card. I hope you enjoyed and find this video very informative. So that's all guys, thank you.